Mawulire si malungi wano mu ggwanga erya Bahrain. Muganda waffe Sam Kironde atuvudde ku maaso. Abadde mu security company emu gy'abadde yakajoyininga nga yava mu company endala. Sam Kironde abadde akola night shift. Banne bamuzuukusizza ng'obudde bw'okukola butuuse basobole okugenda okukola. Bambi bagenze omunyenyanyeenya nga takyalimu yadde akassa nga yavudde dda mu bulamu bw'ensi. Teosobola kumanya kituufu ki ekimusse kubanga asangiddwa yeebase. Naye tujja kusaba buli omu alaba vidiyo eno gitambuze etuuke ku baffamire ye. Abaffamire ye banoonyezebwa kubanga tewali amanyi mayitire gonna, tewali yafunye kimukwatako. Kibi nnyo wano mu ggwanga ery'e Bahrain. Muganda waffe bw'atyo bw'atugenzeeko Sam Kironde. Amumanyi bambi gezaako nga bw'osobola otegeeze famire ye kuba kyemmanyi bayinza okuba tebalina kye bamanyi. Wabula famire ye bw'ebanga esobodde okulaba vidiyo eno mugezeeko okuba nti mutunoonyanga obudde bukyali. Tulabe ki ekyokukola. Kibi nnyo, kibi ddala wane Bahrain miranga nyiike na bulumi ku mutima olwa muganda waffe oyo Sam Kironde. Rest in peace Sam.
Ebya Fikigaza bamukwata oluvannyuma lw'okumusanga n'amajambi ewuwe n'agamba aba security nti akola ku site. Naye Fikigaza ayinza okuba talina buzibu, naye abavubuka batambula nabo abamu bazze nga beenyigira mu meze egy'okkuba abantu. Awo nno abavubuka we mbagamba ebintu ebyo eby'oluyaayo ebyo ebya ghetto bye mubeeramu bijja kumaliriza nammwe bibatadde either mu makomero oba nga mufudde. Ghetto tekitegeeza kuba bantu, ghetto tekitegeeza kutambula n'amajambiya, ghetto tekitegeeza kutambula na bisi. Ghetto just kiba kifo. Ate Uganda yonna ghetto kisinziira ani alaba. N'olwaleero abavubuka mwina wrong mentality about ghetto. Bu ghetto kitegeeza kwekuba, kulwana, kuba abantu, kumanyira bantu. So ekyatuuse ku muganda wange Fikigaza yakwatibwa ku nsonga ezo, baasanga amajambiya nga n'abavubuka batambula nabo abamu benyigidde mu bikolwa eby'obumenyi bw'amateeka. Babuulira abavubuka mmwe abakyali eyo nga mukyakola effujjo ku bantu, mukuba abantu, mutambula n'ebisi, mubba abantu in the disguise of ghetto. Tewali ghetto weegenda kuwangula. Oluyaaye teruwangula. Escobe Colombia yafa, yali muyaga. Kalo Katere Colombia bagikuba. Kato Musege yafa. Sobi yafa wano mu Uganda. Zebula bamukuba amasasi. So nze sirabyeko muntu yenyigidde mu bintu bya luyaaye ebyo eby'eggaali ze muyina amaliriza bulungi, kubanga gwe oyinza okulowooza ogenda kunyiiga ng'olwana na bikonde olwo abalina emmundu we banaatabuka. Kirowoozeemu. Oyinza okulowooza ogenda kunyiiga ng'okozesa njaga olwo abalina emizinga we banaatabuka mu ggwanga lino, abalina zi AK-47, abalina zi pistol. So abavubuka muve bintu ebyo eby'ekiyaayeeyaaye, mubeere abantu abagasa. Osobola okuba nga oli muyimbi nga totambula na ggaali. Osobola okuba nga oli muyimbi nga tokuba bantu. Osobola okuba nga oli muyimbi ng'oyimba okola bibyo, kubanga okuyimba mirimu ng'emirala. N'abamulowooza we mufuuka abayimbi temukwatwako, muli ba kitalo, ojja genda okuba abantu. Nze abayimbi bangi beegezezzaamu okwagala okunkuba, naye nkulayirira amazima ga Katonda mu ggulu ojja nakwewuunya. So ebintu ebyo tubiveemu, tubeere bantu balamu. So muganda wange Fikigaza ne bazannyo alasisi wa Kampala omwami Shafiki oyo mwagala nnyo kubanga ye ghetto giant. Abayaaya abo abamanyi era agenza abakolako era ne banyiiga. Bu Shafiki atulyamu olukwe. Shafiki yali waffe oyo alasisi wa Kampala. Mwebaza nnyo bambi, atuyambye nnyo to identify those criminals. Era tewali muyaayi agenda kukola fujjo wano alowooze nti Shafiki alasisi wa Kampala agenda muyamba kwa nalaba Fiki Gaza amukubira amasimu muganda wange Shafiki bankute. Of course Shafiki alasisi wa Kampala abamanyi era yatuukawo nga gundi oyo yeesibidde mu nyumba, that boy Fiki Gaza. So Fiki Gaza z'obubaka bwe muwanna yogerako naye edda era ne tubaako bye twanyumyako. Wejjeeko abavubuka abo ng'obudde bukyali, wejjeeko abavubuka abakola effujjo, wejjeeko abavubuka abatambula n'aga amajambiya, bwe babakwata nga mulimbalimba security eti mulina site ze mukolako nga site teziriiyo.
This money is too much for State House. That is my opinion. Actually, we are processing a budget that is program based. That one should remain a fact. The budget that we are processing is under program based. We all believe that we have other institutions of government, of which some of them we've just met them recently. Some of them we even met them yesterday. And actually when you look at some of the activities that State House is intending to carry out, they are almost the same activities they are presenting. So, a case in point, I'll go straight to the issue of skilling. We all know that this program has been around for so many years, and we've been spending money for it, whether in Kampala or other parts of the country. But we have a concern as leaders. What intervention has government made to make sure that the people of Uganda who are helped in skilling are uplifted financially to make sure that they put in place what they studied?
You requested us to provide proposed budget allocation for financial year 25-26 and the justification that for those proposed allocations, as well as the key vote priorities for 25-26 with respective budget allocations, clearly indicating the desired amount and that which was provided under the ceiling. We have given a brief overview of our allocation in the components highlighted in the table that follows. Wage, this financial year we have an allocation of 31.4 billion shillings. However, for next financial year we've had an increment and it has gone to 36.114 billion. This has arisen out of the new creations of units and appointments by either president that necessitated an increase of 4.626 billion shillings. Under non-wage, we have a total allocation of 399.058 billion this financial year. This has risen to 443.113 billion shillings. And the reason for this increase is out of three components, one of them being gratuity. The new recruitments led to the need for more gratuity. And so this allocation was increased by 1.491 billion. However, this is despite the fact that we needed an extra 4.798 on this particular item of gratuity. This leaves a funding gap under gratuity of 3.307 billion. So despite the increase, we still have a funding gap on gratuity. Under pension, we received an increment of 39 million shillings to cater for planned retirements. Under presidential initiatives, we have two components that got an increment. One was the transfer of operations of the National Secretariat for Patriotism Clubs from Office of the President to State House. This was a directive, and it came with 4.5 billion shillings to cater for the activities of the National Secretariat for Patriotism Clubs. Additionally, State House received a directive to provide resources for the establishment of the state-of-the-art common user facility, and the resource for this directive is 38 billion shillings. Under development, we moved from 21.7 to 27.7. And this additional 6 billion is to cater for the procurement of vehicles. This was a need that was highlighted at the budget framework paper, and thanks to your efforts, Honorable Chair, we got that extra 6 billion to cater for the procurement of vehicles. Then you asked us to provide key priority areas indicating the desired amount and the provision in the ceiling. The key priority areas handled under State House are highlighted in that table that follows, and one of them is the poverty reduction, peace and development. The President is engaged in these activities of poverty reduction, peace and development. The allocation to this priority is 82.753 billion shillings. And this service area delivers on both the President and Vice President's interventions relating to mobilizing of masses, leaders, rallying them towards, and various leaders rallying them towards peace, poverty reduction, and socio-economic transformation. It involves meeting with delegations of local leaders as well as sensitization meetings with the wananchi. The greatest cost drivers are travel inland costs, maintenance of vehicles, as well as firming up the already existing model village initiative across the country. The other priority area is the promotion of regional integration and international relations. We have allocated a 9.146 billion to this priority area, and this is where the President and Vice President continue the promotion of regional and international relations, fostering bilateral and multilateral relations for regional peace and development. This key service area involves travels abroad by the principals to attend regional and international meetings, as well as hosting various heads of state and foreign dignitaries. The other key priority area is the promotion of trade, tourism, and investment, and we have allocated 1.5 billion. Here we handle the fact that the President is at the forefront of promoting trade, tourism, and investment. This area ensures that the principals are engaged in key trade-related activities that include but are not limited to engaging in regional and international trade meetings, mobilizing both local and foreign investors, as well as commissioning new investments. The other priority area that State House handles is supporting the President to reach out to the community. And in various ways, this allocation is 83.08 billion. In various ways, both the President and Vice President reach out to local communities. They have a prerogative to reach out to individuals and communities in need through donations that include payment of school fees for State House-sponsored students, provision of vehicles for religious leaders, and other welfare needs, could be even medical, of the people. The other priority area is the implementation of any presidential initiative that is set up in State House. The allocation is 103 billion shillings. The President, using his own prerogative, initiates a number of strategic interventions aimed at either improving service delivery, that is where we see initiatives like the anti-corruption unit, the health monitoring unit, and infrastructure monitoring unit, or quality of life, as well as the skilling and wealth creation initiatives. For example, the skilling program in Kampala and the hubs around the country. The last three components are cross-cutting. They are still priority, really, because without them, the above cannot go on. Management and administrative services. Management and administrative services, we have an allocation of 163.514 billion. And this priority handles the day-to-day implementation of policies and procedures, planning and direction of resources that are both human and financial in order to deliver the mandate of the vote. Then wage, which is 36.114 billion shillings, payment of staff salaries. And lastly, the capital development, which I've already mentioned earlier, which is 27.722. It handles the acquisition of assets as well as their management. That is procurement of vehicles, procurement of various equipment, procurement of furniture, maintenance of all the infrastructure that we have, including Entebbe State House and Nakasero State Lodge. You requested us to provide key performance indicators, clearly indicating baselines and intermediate targets for 25-26. Still, I'll follow the priority areas and provide the indicators across those priority areas and the baseline. This baseline, actually, you'll excuse me, it's 23-24. It's 23-24, not because 24-25 is not yet done. So under poverty reduction, peace and development, as I already mentioned here, the key performance indicators will look at the number of districts mobilized by both the president and vice president. This is a new indicator, so we don't have baseline data for it in that regard, though the president has been going around all the districts. Our target for both of them is 120 districts. The other one is to meet delegations of local leaders, number of delegations of local leaders met. The president and vice president target to meet 100 of those. Under regional integration and international relations, our indicator is number of regional and international peace and security engagements participated in, and we shall target 19. You will see that the baseline is 61. The baseline is 61 because in that particular year we had NAM. So NAM drove that number up, but the target is to have 19 engagements of that caliber. You also, as I come to the end, requested us to indicate how the planned activities fit into the votes mandate and consistency with the NDP4. And in alignment, we highlight the fact that the NDP4's goal is to achieve higher household incomes, full monetization of the economy, and employment for sustainable socio-economic transformation. And as State House, we are mandated to provide at all times support to the presidency, who in turn offers overall leadership of the state and ensures that all the national goals are achieved. So our support is to achieve that NDP4 goal. This pursuit is in tandem with Objective 5 of the NDP4, which is to strengthen good governance, security, and the rule of the state in development. Now, this particular Objective 5 is implemented through the program of governance and security, under which State House falls. And this alignment is further exemplified through the program objectives and interventions as detailed below. So the program has objectives, the program has interventions, and now State House 6 ways on how to plug in so that we are in alignment with NDP4. So the first program objective that we are aligned to is to strengthen public policy management, legal and institutional frameworks for socio-economic transformation. Now this is at program level. In there is an intervention that reads enhanced administration of program services of the presidency for socio-economic transformation. Now, what will State House do in order to align itself to these two? State House will facilitate the presidency programs, all of them, through the provision of logistical and technical support, welfare and security, so that they are efficiently and effectively implemented. This touches the issues of mobilization of investors, promotion of trade, mobilizing leaders across the country, engaging in community-related functions, as well as implementation of presidential initiatives. Now, the second program objective that we are aligned to touches strengthening accountability, transparency, and money laundering systems for effective governance. Again, this is at program level, and there are two interventions that we are aligned to. The first one relates to prevention and detection of corruption and enforcement of anti-corruption measures. This is where the anti-corruption unit in State House comes in to investigate corrupt-related cases and forward them to the DPP for onward management or prosecution. The other bit under the other intervention under this particular objective is strengthening monitoring of government programs for effective service delivery, and this is where we have the inspection carried out by the Health Monitoring Unit, the inspection of health facilities across the country, as well as the inspection of ongoing infrastructure works across the country and taking the appropriate action.
Sponsorship of students. Karamoja happens to be one of the areas which was given affirmative action. in terms of education in order to help Karamoja come to the level of other regions in the country. However, the challenge here is, which I want to really ask the State House controller. Why is the problem? The students from Karamoja are really suffering. They are tossed left and right by the management of the institutions because of delayed payment of fees for those who happen to be given the opportunity. What is the problem, madam? As we talk now, the students are embarrassed. They are demoralized, despite of the letters by the president to clear them. What is the problem? Is it your office or where? Who is sitting on this, making the Karamojong children suffer? Who is this person the president has had for the Karamojongs? Who is this? And then finally, the issue of welfare. Is somebody who is in charge of welfare matters. Welfare, you know it is really catering for these people to live well. What's wrong with you also? Really, what is the problem? Finally, on the anti-corruption, the money for road rehabilitation is being consumed at district levels, left and right. As we talk now, all districts are in total confusion because the money is not used well. Anti-corruption, where are you? Where are you to shake these chips here? There are very many. Every district is complaining of the engineer, the CFO. They are really clear. Just that the money of government is being eaten. What are you doing? Then finally, the issue of health monitoring. This country needs ambulances to be able to support the referrals. But up to now, even hard to reach areas like my constituency. By the way, I'm a member of parliament for the people living on mountains and at the slopes. But you have not given me the ambulance. Are you serious? You need a chopper. You need a chopper. People, these areas are accessible. And it is hard to reach area. It is in the law. But you people, in terms of your priorities, which one do you consider? The ones in hard to reach areas or the ones which are accessible? Again, this is the issue of priorities.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tuchaddeko ewa Sheikh Asiraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyusa okubalaba amannya agange Seeka Asiraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde tumusomereddwa, tumuwa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba, tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulomba edduwa. Abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombera edduwa, ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala. Neetaase enamba yange yeeno eri 0707763711. Nammwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku dduwa ng'olina ebizibu, viza zibuze, amaka gakolongotana, sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo, ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amannya go, ebyo byokka bijja kummala. Nja kukulombera edduwa, ojja kutereera. Olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'edduwa ey'awamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.